wind was the biggest proponent of spreading the fire. It's going to offer the best protection for a home. Their house was still standing. It's fire-resistant siding in Colorado. My name is Larry Nix. I am an account manager in the siding and windows doors department, and I've been with Scottish for 3 years. It's fire-resistant siding in Colorado for this year, along with years prior, has been James Hardie. It's the most economical price-wise, and it still has a great appearance, as you can see on this home behind us. It has kind of a standard look, nothing unusual. It's not going to be as loud as a steel-sided home or structure. With the recent LA fires and with the Marshall fires that have steel siding, obviously is not going to burn there, but for the look that most homeowners are going for, typically homeowners like the look of a James Hardie install better than a steel siding install. There is a lot of different elements to a wildfire. With the recent LA fires and with the Marshall fires that happened here in Colorado a couple of years ago, the wind was the biggest proponent of spreading the fire and just creating these firestorms that seemingly nothing can protect a house from. With a fire-resistant roofing material, coupled with resistant siding and fire-resistant sheathing, all those elements combined, that's going to offer the best protection for a home. A couple of companies have rolled out new soffit vents that would be installed up under the overhangs of the roof, that once they get to a certain temperature will close shut, which also detract embers from flying into the attic space, into the soffit vents, which could also combust a home. With all those things combined, along with tree mitigation and removing any shrubbery, brush, trees, dead trees, that's your best option to fireproof your home. Siding is more fire resistant because of the cementitious nature of the material. A lot of its counterparts, James Hardie, for example, a lot of their competition is going to be a wood-based material, and obviously wood burns. I'm not saying that James Hardie doesn't have some kind of element of wood or pulp intertwined into the material. It's mostly cement. There's tons of tests online that firemen, homeowners, contractors have done. We've done some on our social media outlets as well, where the proof is in the pudding, and you can blast a flame onto a piece of fiber cement and it's not going to ignite, whereas its counterparts ignite or melt immediately. And there is no comparison. If you're looking for the best product to wrap on your home, I think that a fiber cement product is going to be your best bet, especially in a high fire. The best way to maximize protection on a home is to install a fire-resistant siding with a fire-resistant sheathing. If you've got a wall of sheathing that's made of wood and you're just mounting fire-resistant material on top of it, the fire-resistant material is going to protect it for a certain amount of time. And I'm curious to see, a lot of data still coming out on the LA wildfires. It's best to get actual data from these instances to see how long the fire was happening on a particular structure. Are these fires moving so rapidly because of the Santa Ana winds, where there's material, shrubbery, brush, trees up against a home that's creating prolonged exposure to fire? A lot of communities are mandating that a fire-resistant material is getting installed back onto the home, especially here in Colorado. I had direct communication with people that were digging heirlooms out of rubble, burnt to the ground pits, foundation up in Louisville, Colorado, because of the catastrophic Marshall fire, where some of our clients that we installed James Hardie on back prior to the fire, their house was still standing. We have seen proof that protecting the home does work. It does help. Obviously, it's not completely a guaranteed fireproof situation, but can't we all just do the best we can and do things as smart as we can to protect people's investments in their lives? Based siding, there is a bit of a price difference, right? Just to give you a ratio comparison, if a piece of masonite siding, one piece is $11 and a piece of James Hardie is $14, like when you add up an entire home, it's gonna add up. So it just depends on location, the budget. I want a $100,000 pickup truck, but maybe 45,000 is good for now. We've been installing James Hardie, at least the statement collection from James Hardie, I believe longer than anybody in the state of Colorado. We've noticed that if installed properly, a James Hardie, a fiber cement product or a wood-based product can last decades. We're not having to paint every 3 to 5 years if it's a cedar wrapped home, which a lot of the houses in this neighborhood that I'm standing in currently, that's what they're wrapped in, the cedar. The paint schedule's not the same. And if you install it with the right specifications and clearances that contractors like us and have helped James Hardie figure out, I think that it's going to last you multiple decades. On a home like this, I expect this siding to last 40 years. It's going to last a long time. The best example I have of a home being protected by fiber cement siding, it's a tragic testament to the power of the product, but once the dust is all settled, it was pretty clear that a home that we wrapped in James Hardie back in 2017 up in the Marshall Fire in Louisville, Colorado, it was the last home standing in an entire neighborhood that was decimated by the fires. That home was protected by a fire-resistant siding. So that's a true testament to the protection capabilities. Fire-resistant siding to protect their investment. They've been in the house for decades. Or maybe they're just now moving in, but they understand that if they spend a little bit, they can gain a lot of it, right? Not only does it protect the home, but it upgrades the look significantly. Homes that were built in the 20th century, whether it be the early 1900s, mid-century, the 90s, like when this home was built, and the siding had failed significantly on this home already. And we came in and installed our fire-resistant siding on it. They get the benefit if there was a wild grass fire out here, that all these materials that we're installing on this home is going to be protective of the home itself. Another thing that you want to consider is you don't want to contribute to a fire, right? A fire is it's something that we've been dealing with since the dawn of humanity and the dawn of existence. The last thing I would want to do is put my community into a situation where I'm contributing to the spread of fire or danger of any kind. I want to protect my community as much as I do my house, whether it's increasing property values and making the aesthetic of the neighborhood be in line with what other homeowners want it to be, or also getting significant fire protection. If you have any questions about this, any of you viewers out there, please contact us at scottishhomeimprovements.com. Feel free to give us a call at 303-662-8150, and we're happy to come out and have a consultation with you to explain benefits, budgets, values, whatever you want to discuss.